The Odyssey Book 7, Phaeacia's Halls and Gardens. Now as Odysseus, long in exile, prayed in Athena's grove, the hardy mule team drew the princess toward the city. Reaching her father's splendid halls, she reined in, just at the gates, her brothers clustering round her. Men like gods released the mules from the yoke and brought the clothes indoors. As Nausicaa made her way into the bedroom, there her chambermaid lit a fire for her. Medusa, the old woman who'd come from Aparea years ago when the rolling ships had sailed her in, and the country picked her out as King Alcinous's prize. For he ruled all the Phaeacians, they obeyed him like a god. Once she had nursed the white-armed princess in the palace, now she lit a fire and made her supper in the room. At the same time, Odysseus set off toward the city. Pallas Athena, harboring kindness for the hero, drifted a heavy mist around him, shielding him from any swaggering islander who'd cross his path, provoke him with taunts and search out who he was. Instead, as he was about to enter the welcome city, the bright-eyed goddess came up to greet him there, for all the world like a young girl holding a pitcher, standing face to face with a visitor who asked, "Little girl, now wouldn't you be my guide to the palace of the one they call Alcinous, the king who rules the people of these parts? I'm a stranger, you see, weighted down with troubles, come this way from a distant far-off shore, so I know no one here, none at all, in your city and the farmlands round about." "Oh yes, sir, good old stranger," the bright-eyed goddess said. "I'll show you the very palace that you're after. The king lives right beside my noble father. Come quietly too, and I will lead the way. Now not a glance at anyone, not a question. The men here never suffer strangers gladly, have no love for hosting a man from foreign lands. All they really trust are their fast-flying ships that cross the mighty ocean. Gifts of Poseidon. Ah, what ships they are, quick as a bird, quick as a darting thought." And Pallas Athena sped away in the lead as he followed in her footsteps. Man and goddess, the famed Phaeacian soldiers never saw him, right in their midst striding down the streets. Athena, the one with lovely braids, would not permit it. The awesome goddess poured an enchanted mist around him, harboring kindness for Odysseus in her heart, and he marveled now at how the balanced ships and havens, the meeting grounds of the great lords and long ramparts, looming, coped, and crowned with palisades of stakes, an amazing sight to see. And once they reached the king's resplendent halls, the bright-eyed goddess cried out, "Good old stranger, here is the very palace that you're after. I've guided you all the way. Here you'll find our princess dear to the gods, busy feasting. You go on inside, be bold, nothing to fear. In every venture the bold man comes off best, even the wanderer bound from distant shores. The queen is the first you'll light on in the halls. Arete she is called, and earns the name. She answers all our prayers. She comes, in fact, from the same stock that bred our king Alcinous. First came Nausithous, son of the earthquake god, Poseidon and Phaeacia, the lovely, matchless beauty, the youngest daughter of iron-willed Eurymedon, king of the overwhelming giants years ago. He led that reckless clan to its own ruin, killed himself in the bargain, but the sea lord lay in love with Phaeacia, and she produced a son. Nausithous, that lionheart, ruled Phaeacia well. Now Nausithous had two sons, Rhexenor and Alcinous. The lord of the silver bow, Apollo, shot Rhexenor down. Married true, yet still without a son in the halls, he left one child behind, a daughter named Arete. Alcinous made the girl his wife and honors her as no woman is honored on this earth, of all the wives now keeping households under the husband's sway. Such is her pride of place, and always will be so, dear to her loving children, to Alcinous himself, and all our people. They gaze on her as a god, saluting her warmly on our walks through town. She lacks nothing in good sense and judgment. She can dissolve quarrels even among men, whoever wins her sympathies. If only our queen will take you to her heart, then there's hope you will see your loved ones, reach your high-roofed house, your native land at last." And with that vow, the bright-eyed goddess sped away over the barren sea, leaving welcome Scheria far behind, and reaching Marathon and the spacious streets of Athens. Now entered Eurystheus' study halls, Athena's stronghold. Now, as Odysseus approached Alcinous' famous house, a rush of feeling stirred within his heart, bringing him to a standstill. Even before he crossed the bronze threshold, a radiance strong as the moon or rising sun came flooding through the high-roofed walls of generous King Alcinous. Walls plated in bronze, crowned with a circling frieze, gaze as blue as lapis, ran to left and right, from outer gates to the deepest court recess, and solid golden doors enclosed the palace. Up from the bronze threshold silver doorposts rose, with silver lintel above and golden handles too, and dogs of gold and silver were stationed either side, forged by the god of fire with all his cunning craft, to keep watch on generous King Alcinous's palace, his immortal guard dogs, ageless all their days, inside to left and right, in a long unbroken row, from farthest outer gate to the inmost chamber, thrones stood backed against the wall, each draped with a finely spun brocade, woman's handsome work. Here the Phaeacian lords would sit enthroned, dining, drinking. The feast flowed on forever, and young boys, molded of gold, set on pedestals, standing firm, were lifting torches high in their hands, to flare through the nights and light the feasters down the hall. And Alcinous has some 50 serving women in his house. Some, turning the handmill, grind the apple-yellow grain. Some weave out their webs, or sit and spin their yarn, fingers flickering quick as aspen leaves in the wind, and the densely woven woolens dripping oil droplets. Just as Phaeacian men excel the world at sailing, driving their swift ships on the open sea, so the women excel at all the arts of weaving. That is Athena's gift to them beyond all others, a genius for lovely work and a fine mind too. Outside the courtyard, fronting the high gates, a magnificent orchard stretches 4 acres deep, with a strong fence running round it side to side. Here luxuriant trees are always in their prime. Pomegranates and pears and apples growing red, succulent figs and olives swelling sleek and dark, and the yield of all these trees will never flag or die, neither in the winter nor the summer. A harvest all year round, for the west wind always breathing through will bring some fruits to the bud, and others warm to ripeness. Pear mellowing ripe on pear, apple on apple, cluster of grapes on crustle, fig crowding fig, and here is a teeming vineyard planted for the kings. Beyond it, an open level bank where the vintage grapes lie, baking to raisins in the sun, while pickers gather others. Some they trample down in vats, and here in the front rows bunches of unripe grapes have hardly shed their blooms, while others under the sunlight slowly darken purple. And there by the last rows are beds of every greens, bordered and plotted greens of every kind, glistening fresh year in, year out. And last there are 2 springs, one rippling in channels over the whole orchard, the other, flanking it, rushes under the palace gates to bubble up in front of the lofty roots, where the city people come and draw their water. Such were the gifts, the glories showered down by the gods on King Alcinous's realm. And there Odysseus stood, gazing at all this bounty, a man who'd borne so much. Once he had his fill of marveling at all, he crossed the threshold quickly, strode inside the palace. Here he found the Phaeacian lords and captains tipping out libations now to the guide and giant killer Hermes, the god to whom they would always pour the final cup before they sought their beds. Odysseus went on striding down the hall, the man of many struggles, shrouded still in the mist. Athena drifted round him, till he reached Arete and Alcinous the king. And then, the moment he flung his arms around Arete's knees, the god-sent mist rolled back to reveal the great man, and silence seized all the feasters all along the hall. Seeing him right before their eyes, they marveled, gazing on him now as Odysseus pleaded, "Queen Arete, daughter of the godlike King Rhexenor, here, after many trials, I come to beg for mercy. Your husbands, yours, and all these feasters here. May the gods endow them with fortune all their lives. May each hand down to his sons the riches in his house, and the pride of place the realm has granted him. But for as myself, grant me a rapid convoy home to my own native land. How far away I've been from all my loved ones, how long I've suffered." Pleading so, the man sank down in the ashes, just at the hearth beside the blazing fire, while all the rest stayed hushed, stock still. At last the old-revered Echeneus broke the spell, the eldest lord in Phaeacia, finest speaker too, a past master at all the island's ways. Impelled by kindness now, he rose and said, "This is no way, Alcinous. How indecent! Look, our guest on the ground in the ashes by the fire. Your people are holding back, waiting for your signal. Come, raise him up and seat the stranger now in a silver-studded chair, and tell the heralds to mix warm wine for all, so we can pour out cups to Zeus who loves the lightning. Champion of suppliant's rights are sacred, and let the housekeeper give our guest his supper, unstinting with her stores." Hearing that, Alcinous, poised in all his majesty, took the hand of the seasoned, worldly wise Odysseus, raised him up from the hearth, and sat him down in a burnished chair, displacing his own son, the courtly Lord Laodamas, who sat beside him, the son he loved the most. A maid brought water soon in a graceful golden pitcher, and over a silver basin tipped it out so the guest might rinse his hands, then pulled a gleaming table to his side. A staid housekeeper brought on bread to serve him, appetizers aplenty too, lavish with her bounty. As long-suffering great Odysseus ate and drank, the hallowed king Alcinous called his herald. Come, Pontonous, mix the wine in the bowl, pour rounds to all our banqueters in the home, so we can pour out cups to Zeus, who loves the lightning champion of suppliance. Suppliants right are sacred. At that, Pontonous mixed the heady, honeyed wine, and tipped first drops for the god in every cup, then poured full rounds for all. And once they had poured libations out and drunk to their heart's content, Alcinous rose and addressed his island. Hear me, lords and captains of Phaeacia. Hear what the heart inside me has to say. Now, our feast finished, home ye go to sleep. But at dawn we call the elders into full assembly, host our guests in the palace, sacrifice to the gods, and then we turn our minds to his passage home. So under a convoy our new friend can travel back to his own land. No toil, no trouble, soon rejoicing, even as his home's a world away. And on the way no pain or hardship suffered, not till he sets foot on native ground again. There in the future he must suffer all that fate, and the overbearing spinners spun out on his lifeline, the very day his mother gave him. But if he's one of the deathless powers out of the blue, the gods are working now in strange new ways. Always, up to now, they came to us face to face. Whenever we'd give them grand, glorious sacrifices, they always sat beside us here and shared our feasts. Even when some lonely traveler meets them on the roads, they never disguise themselves. We're too close to kin for that. Close as the wild giants are, the Cyclops too. Alcinous, wary Odysseus countered, crossed that thought from your mind. I'm nothing like the immortal gods who rule the skies, either in build or breeding. I'm just a mortal man. Whom do you know the most dazzled down with sorrow? They are the ones I'd equal, grief for grief, and I could tell a tale of still more hardship, all I've suffered thanks to the gods' will. But despite my misery, let me finish dinner. Belly's a shameless dog, there's nothing worse, always insisting, pressing, and never lets us forget. Destroyed as I am, my heart racks with sadness, sick with anguish. Still it keeps demanding. Eat, drink. It blots out all the memory of my pain, commanding, fill me up. But you, at the first light of day, hurry please, to set your unlucky guest on his home soil. How much I have suffered, oh, just let me see, my hands, my serving men, in the grand high-roofed house, then I can die in peace. All burst into applause, urging passage home for their newfound friend. His pleading ran so true. And once they'd poured libations out and drunk to their heart's content, each one made his way to rest in his own house. But King Odysseus still remained at hall, seated beside the royal Alcinous and Arete, as servants cleared the cups and plates away. The white-armed queen Arete took the lead. She'd spotted the cape and shirt Odysseus wore. Fine clothes she'd made herself with all her woman. So now her words flew briskly, sharply. Stranger, I'll be the first to question you myself. Who are you? Where are you from? Who gave you the clothes you're wearing now? Didn't you say you reach us roving on the sea? What hard labor, queen, the man of craft replied, to tell you the story of my troubles start to finish. The gods on high have given me my share. Still, this much I will tell you. Seeing you probe and press me so intently, there is an island, Ogygia, lying far at sea, where the daughter of Atlas, Calypso, has her home. The seductive nymph with lovely braids, a danger too, and no one, god or mortal, dares approach her over there. But I, cursed as I am, some power brought me to her hearth. Alone, when Zeus with the white-hot bolt had crushed my racing warship down the wine-dark sea. There, all the rest my loyal shipmates died, but I, locking my arms around my ship's keel, drifted along 9 days. On the 10th, at dead of night, gods cast me up on Ogygia, Calypso's island, home of the dangerous nymph with glossy braids. And the goddess took me in all her kindness, welcomed me warmly, cherished me, even vowed to make me immortal. ageless all my days. But she never won the heart inside me, never. 7 endless years I remained there, always drenching with my tears the immortal clothes Calypso gave me. Then at last, when the 8th came wheeling round, she insisted that I sail, inspired by warning sent from Zeus, perhaps, or by her own mind had changed. She saw me on my way in a solid craft, tight and trim, and gave me full provisions, food and mellow wine, immortal clothes to wear, and summoned a wind to bear me onward, fair and warm. In 17 days I sailed, making headway well. On the 18th, shadowy mountains slowly loomed your land. My heart leapt up, unlucky as I am, doomed to be comrade still to many hardships. Many pains the god of earthquakes piled upon me, losing the winds against me, blocking passage through heaving up a terrific sea beyond belief. Nor did the white caps let me cling to my craft. For all my desperate groaning, no, the squall shattered her stern to stern. But I swam hard. I plowed my way through those dark gulfs till at last the wind and current bore me to your shores. But here I have tried to land, the breakers would have hurled me, smashed me against the jagged cliffs of that grim coast. So I pulled away, swam back till I reached a river, the perfect spot at last, or so it struck me, free of rocks, with a windbreak from the gales. So, fighting for life, I flung myself ashore. The God-sent, bracing night came on at once. Clambering up from the river, big with Zeus's reins, I bedded down in the brush, my body heaped with leaves, and a god poured down a boundless sleep upon me. Yes, and there in the leaves, exhausted, sick at heart, I slept the whole night through, and on to the break of day, and on into high noon. And the sun was wheeling down, when sweet sleep set me free. And I looked up, and there were your daughter's maids, at play on the beach, and she moved among them like a deathless goddess. I begged her for help, and not once did her sense of tact desert her. She behaved as you'd never hope to find in one so young. Not in a random meeting, time and again the youngsters proved so flighty. Not she. She gave me food aplenty and shining wine, a bath in the river too, and gave me all this clothing. That's my whole story, wrenching to tell but true. Ah, but in one regard, my friend, the king replied. Her good sense missed the mark. This daughter of mine, she never escorted you to her house with all her maids, but she was the first you asked for care and shelter. Your Majesty, diplomatic Odysseus answered, don't find fault with a flawless daughter now, not for my sake, please. She urged me herself to follow with her maids. I chose not to, fearing embarrassment. In fact, what if he took offense, seeing us both together? Suspicious we were, we men who walk the earth. Oh no, my friend, Alcinous stated flatly, I'm hardly a man for reckless idle anger. Balance is best in all things. Father Zeus, Athena, and Lord Apollo, if only seeing the man you are, seeing we think as one, you could wed my daughter, and be my son-in-law, and stay right here with us. I'd give you a house and great wealth if you chose to stay, that is. No Phaeacian would hold you back by force. The curse of Father Zeus on such a thing. And about your convoy home, you rest assured. I have chosen the day, and I decree it is tomorrow. And all that voyage long you'll lie in a deep sleep, while my people sail you on through calm and gentle tides, till you reach your land and house, or any place you please. True, even if landfall lies more distant than Euboea, off at the edge of the world, so say our crews at least, who saw it once. That time they carried the gold-haired Rhadamanthus to visit Tydeus, son of Mother Earth. Imagine there they sailed, and back they came in the same day. They finished the homeward run with no strain at all. You'll see for yourself how far they topped the best, my ships and their young shipmates tossing up the white caps with their oars. So he vowed, and the long-enduring great Odysseus glowed with joy, and raised a prayer and called the god by name. Father Zeus on high, may the king fulfill his promises one and all. Then his fame would ring through the fertile earth, and never die, and I should reach my native land at last. And now, as the two men exchanged their hopes, the white-armed queen instructed her palace maids to make a bed in the porch's shelter, lay down some heavy purple throws for the bed itself, and over it spread some blankets, thick woolly robes, a warm covering laid on top. Torches in hand, they left the hall and fell to work at once, briskly prepared a good snug resting place, and then returned to Odysseus, urged the guests, Up, friend, time for sleep. Your bed is made. How welcome the thought of sleep, so that man now. So there, after many trials, Odysseus lay at rest, on a corded bed inside the echoing colonnade. Alcinous slept in chambers deep in his lofty house, where the queen and his wife arranged and shared their bed.